Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Megan and I am the witch here around the cauldron. And today I want to show you something that I created. I've spoken before about grimoires and how your grimoire or book of shadows can be pretty much whatever you want. You can have a binder or a notebook or a big fancy leather-bound grimoire with tea-stained pages and pass it down through your family line. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that it works for you, right? I've also spoken before about how I really like to have digital collections of information, like a digital grimoire. So today I want to show you a template that I created for Notion, and it is a digital grimoire. This template is going to be available for you to duplicate to your own Notion workspace if that's what you want, completely for free. I just ask that you don't share it as your own, you don't try to sell it, etc. So the benefits of having a digital grimoire is that it's much easier to carry the information with you. I also personally like the fact that it is very easy to organize, update, and change, and it has a search function, and search functions are just amazing, especially if you are categorizing a lot of information. So without further ado, let's just hop right into the Notion grimoire. Okay, so this is what the dashboard looks like when you open up the template. You'll see that I have it separated into 3 different columns. This middle column here is literally just images to act as a divider between these two, and I think it just looks nice. You can change them to whatever you want. I have them here. They are, I don't know, pictures that just make me feel witchy and make me feel connected to my practice. So let's just jump right into it. The first section that you're going to see over here is the daily divination section. This is for all of you witches out there who pull cards on a regular basis. You can change daily to whatever you want. Daily, weekly, monthly, divination. This little section here will auto-populate when you click the button, so you don't have to worry about trying to remember the formatting. It is a toggle, so you can hide the information, and if you like to keep your daily divination records on available for a week, you can do that. This is just going to push everything down towards the bottom of the dashboard for as long as you do it. We're going to undo all of those. To add, you can even delete that. So to add an entry, click on new day. You're going to type the date here. Today's date is May 20th, 2025. You click the toggle and it's going to open this section up here. You've got a place for your image if you choose to include an image, and a place for your interpretation. If you're not familiar with Notion, I do recommend familiarizing yourself with the software or program, whatever it's categorized as, because there is a lot that you can do and it can be kind of overwhelming if you are a brand new user to Notion. So we're going to add an image. You can do this in 4 different ways. You can upload your own, embed a link, pull an image from Unsplash, which is a collection of stock photos, or pull in a GIF if you want to do that instead. So I will upload an image. Let me pull one that I have on my computer. There we go. We will upload the 4 of Cups. And then that's going to show up there. And then you will type your interpretation here. Interpret your reading here. And that is the daily divination section. Now, when you're done and you want to start over, or you just want to have one here for you to view, you can drag this entry to 2 different places, or you can delete it entirely. That is totally up to you. The first place you can drag it is over into the archive. So we'll show you what the archive looks like. I already have one in here because I've tried to record this video 3 times. So this is the archive. This is for anything that isn't relevant to you anymore, but that you still want to keep. Or we'll just create another one. I'm not going to bother changing that though. Or you can drag it over to the Book of Mirrors. This is what the Book of Mirrors looks like. Again, I've tried to record this video multiple times, so we're gonna leave those there. We'll go over the Book of Mirrors in a moment. I want to go over the rest of the sections on that side of the dashboard first. But that is the daily divination section. The next section here is for the moon phase. Now, in my personal digital grimoire, I actually have this set up as a widget, but it is location specific, so it has my location on it. So I have included links here to different websites that have widgets that you can use to pull in the moon phase for your area. You can also update this manually if that's something that you want to do. Just type right in here. So right now it is a last quarter moon in Aquarius. And then you can put the date. I don't personally like to do it that way because I will never remember to update it regularly and it will never be accurate. So that's why I use a widget. Let me show you real quick what my widget looks like, and I will just hide all of the information that you guys don't need to see. All right, so this is what my widget looks like. If I remember correctly, it is the first link that I've included in the template. So it says current moon phase, gives you the date, your location will be listed here, and then it tells you the moon phase and what sign the moon is in. Apparently we are now in Pisces and not in Aquarius, so I can change that on the other one. But that is what the widget looks like, and you don't have to worry about updating it because it will update automatically. It's the third link, not the first one. So if you want the one that looks like mine, I'm pretty sure you can customize the way it looks too. Then you will use this third link here. The next section here may not apply to everyone, so feel free to delete it or change it if you don't want it, but it is digital homes for your servitors. Servitors are something that I've been experimenting with in my own practice, and again, I like to do everything digitally, so having digital homes for my servitors just makes more sense for the type of servitors that I'm experimenting with. Now, I don't have a little button to create a new servitor here because you will actually need to go in and update the information that is available here on the page. This is just an example. Servitor 1, so this would be your servitor's name or the title of the page. The servitor's name, its purpose, its expiration, and then any other information that you want to put. I like to change the icons for all of my pages to something relevant. I think it's just more aesthetically pleasing and it helps me visually pick things out before I actually have to read the words on the screen. So for example, for this one, that is a graduation cap. So if you were to create a servitor that is to help you get good grades so you can graduate, you could change it to a graduation cap. If the servitor is to help you make more money, you could change it to the money bags. To create a new digital servitor home, I would just duplicate the page and fill in information for the next servitor. This last section here on the left is just a calendar. This widget will update itself. You don't have to do anything to it. It is just a visual representation of the month. There is nothing else to it. You can click on the days, but it doesn't do anything else besides show you the month. If you go to the website that this widget is from, I'm pretty sure you can change the colors. I don't remember anything about this widget besides the fact that it's already here in my own, so I've just left it there. But if you want to embed a different calendar or put in your own dates for something, you can do that here. Now we're going to get into the other side of the dashboard, which is where all of your information is. So we're going to go through the journals first, and I have 4 different sections here for you. The first one that we're going to look at is the Book of Mirrors. All right, so here is your Book of Mirrors. The Book of Mirrors is a magical journal. Some witches use it to categorize their daily divination, to keep track of their meditations and trance work. Whatever it is that you want to use it for, that's how you use it. There are 2 ways that you can view your entries. One is by date, which is this calendar appearance here. The other is by just all entries and their tags, which will show up over here on this side. So let's go back to the date. I want to show you real quick how you can change it from weekly to monthly because some people like to have that option. So you will go over to these three little dots here. This is the settings. Go to layout. You're still in the calendar. You want to stay in the calendar. Then you go to show calendar as, you can do week or you can do month, and it will show the entire month. So we're going to leave it like that. Now, when you drag your entries into the Book of Mirrors from your daily divination section, it's not going to automatically drop it into the date that it belongs to. And that's just not the way it works, unfortunately. But to get it to the date that it needs to be at, all you got to do is click and drag. Okay, and now it's there. Once you've dragged your entry onto the date that it belongs to, you have one more step to do for the database to work completely. And that is to add a tag. So you're going to click on your entry. It's going to open it up here on the side, and you're going to add a tag. For this one, this was divination, right? But you have a lot of other options here that I have created for you. Ritual, meditation, personal, if you want to use this also as your personal journal, full moon, solstice, spell work, etc. You can add and remove these tags at your leisure. To add a new tag, you just type and then hit create right here. To delete one, you just click the three dots and hit delete. So now that our entry has a tag, we can go out of this view, go over to view all entries, and from here we can see that our entry for that date is tagged with divination over here on the side. And that's that. Now let me show you real quick how you can add a new entry to your Book of Mirrors. I feel like there's not really a good place for me to put my face as we go through this, so I'm just going to be like hopping around the screen, I guess. So to add a new entry to your Book of Mirrors, there's two ways that you can do this. You can click the little plus here, or you can click new. I like to just hit the plus on whatever day it is that I'm putting my entry on, because then it will auto-populate the date for you. So we'll do that. We'll hit plus to add an item. The new page will show up on the side here. You give it a title, so let's make something up. We'll do clear quartz experiments. Say you're experimenting with clear quartz. Give it a tag, so crystals, maybe meditation, and then all you got to do is write your entry. You can add pictures. Again, let's just pull in something from Unsplash, and it will populate here, and you can see all of your entry. This entry will also show up when you go over to view all entries, clear quartz experiment with the tags, crystals, and meditation. The next section we're going to look at is the currently reading section. Now, this is categorized in several different ways, but you can use this for all of your magical texts. You can even put fiction in here if you feel like it's relevant. For all other purposes, I have a completely separate Notion that is a personal library, and I'll leave a link to that in the description below. I have a whole video explaining that one too. So let's look at the currently reading section of your digital grimoire. All books, completed books, to be read books, and currently reading. Right now I just have one book in here for example's sake, and it is my book because of course it is. So I can show you all of the sections that are available when you add a book to your book list. We're gonna add a new book together, and I just have this one sitting on my desk, A Wrinkle in Time. We're gonna go ahead and add this one in. So to do this, you can hit new page or the blue button up here. We'll just do, so if you do new page, it's just going to populate here at the bottom. It does not give you the opportunity to enter in all of the information. So I like to do it with the button here, so it opens the full page on the side. This is where you're going to enter in the title. Under author, you're going to select the author if the author is already in there, or you will type one out. So like Scott Cunningham, for example, and do it that way. Now, the author section here is set up as tags or categories are, and that's so that you can search books by a specific author. So if you have multiple books by Scott Cunningham, for example, you will be able to find all of them just by filtering your books by author name and choosing his name. Then you can add in a book cover. You do this two ways. You can either upload your own image or you can embed a link. I am just going to embed a link here. I will embed the link. I just copied the link from Amazon. Okay, so now your book cover is there. So if you ever forget what it looks like, you can just click the little magnifying glass and the book cover will pop up here. Then you have several statuses to choose from when you add a book. To be read, currently reading, completed, or did not finish. For example's sake, we're going to put this one under currently reading. Then you can put in the date you started it, and we can put in the date that we finished it. Let's just say we finished it today. Give it some tags. This is a work of fiction. You can add new tags, delete tags, however you need to handle that. Then these three sections here, current page, total pages, and percentage complete, these all work together. So current and total pages need to be filled out in order for percent complete to work. So let's just say I'm on page 58, right? This book has 202 pages in it. This auto completes itself to show that I am 29% done with the book. Now, when I finish the book, I have the option to give it a rating, and this is set up on a star system scale. So we'll just do 5 stars. Then if you're reading a book and you're taking notes or you want to remember a quote, you can type notes here and you will always have them available to you. Now that we've added the book, I'm going to give it an icon. I feel like I need to mention that you will only be able to add an icon if it is set up as like a page like this and you have information down here in this section. If not, then it's not going to link to a page because there's not really a page created in the database yet because that requires information to be typed here in the bottom. Okay, so the status for this one is currently reading. Now let's go look at our currently reading section. And we have it here. So it's going to show you the title, the author, the date you started, and how far along you are in the book. I'm going to apologize ahead of time if you can hear my dogs there playing in the other room and they don't have anywhere else to go. So yes, this is the currently reading section. Now, if I were to open this and change the status to be read, it's going to remove it from the currently reading section and put it in the to be read section. And the information that you see here is different. You just see the name, the author, and the tags. You can also put it in the completed section when you finish the book. And it's going to show up here, and it will show you name, author, tags, and the rating that you gave it. Why does my book only have 4 stars? It needs 5. Now, the last status doesn't have its own tab, because I feel like if I didn't finish a book for a specific reason, it doesn't deserve its own tab. Or it doesn't deserve its own like tab here. The other status is did not finish. So if you didn't finish a book for whatever reason, you just give it the did not finish status. And that's the currently reading section. All right, the next section that we're going to look at is the spell journal. Now I have an example in here that I'm going to show you that I created just for example's sake. And as I go through it, then you'll see how you add a new entry. So we're just going to open this one up. And it's got the title here at the top, Money Bowl Creation, example. The date that you cast a spell, the type of spell. I have a couple options here. Feel free to add or remove them as you need to. And tags. Tags are just like mini categories within categories. It helps you be a little more specific because we know prosperity work is much more than money. But in this case, we are doing a money bowl. So we are going to tag it with money in abundance. I also gave it the weekly tag because money bowls typically are worked on a regular basis, usually weekly. In my case, when I had one, I worked them on Thursdays. Then you put the information about your spell here, what you did, if you said anything, how you felt, your plans, etc., and a picture or several pictures if you took any. So now let's add one together. Again, click the blue new button and let's do healing spell for my pets. Okay, I'm gonna put it as today's date. Spell type, it is a healing spell. Tags, we'll do pets, energy work, and candle. Spell information, it goes here. Just like that. And then pull in pictures if you want pictures. Let's see, I have some pictures of my dogs that I can show you and pull them in. Let's go paste those in here. Whoa. No, open back up, thanks very much. And that's how you do that. Give it a little icon, give the dog icon. And then you added a new spell. And like I said, if this is one that you're working weekly, like the Money Bowl, you can go back in here to add more notes every time that you work your spell. That way, all of your entries for one particular spell are in the same place. Okay, that is the spell journal. Then you have the archive, which I showed you already, and the archive is just for things that aren't relevant anymore, but that you still want to keep. We'll get to the information now. I've got several sections here. These are all set up in databases. I'm going to go through them fairly quickly because they're all pretty much the same, just maybe different categories and tags and whatnot. This first one here though is your brain dump. And brain dumps for me are essential. I have ADHD and I constantly tell myself, oh, I won't forget that. Oh, that's a great idea. I will 100% remember that. And then I don't. And then I'm mad at myself because I forgot. And so that's what the brain dump is for. Things you want to research, spells and rituals that you maybe want to add or write or do, notes that you need to keep, and miscellaneous other stuff. Again, add, remove, change, whatever, when you use it as your own template. The next sections here is all information. So we'll go through them one by one fairly quickly. Astrology is astrology stuff. So this page is set up to show you the title of whatever it is that you have in here, different tags, and a description of what you've got. And so this particular entry is a chart that I have saved from Alan McNabb. He wrote Cosmic Curiosities. He's actually in the Spells 8 forum, and he writes all about astrology. So I have this chart saved, and it is a chart that shows the areas to best manifest in with the full and the new moons, depending on your rising sign and the current moon sign. So this is set up very nicely. To create a new entry, hit the new button, put your information in here, and then it is good to go. The next section is color magic. This one is probably the most basic. You just add the color and the correspondences. You probably don't even need to hit the new button here because you can just start typing here. So we can do pink, self-love, friendship, whatever else that you need to add in there. If you want to add an icon, then yeah, you have to open it up here, but that's okay. So that is the color page. The next page is the deities and entities. I have these separated to just for organization's sake. You have the deities here and the spirits and entities here. The way they work is exactly the same though. So we've got Bridget here. The tag that I gave this entry is Irish because she is an Irish deity. Then I have my notes and research and information about Bridget here. Just as a general note, if you're going to pull in images from outside sources, always include a link to where you got it from for two reasons. One is because you should always remember or know or be able to tell someone where you got an artist's image from. And the second is because sometimes Notion will just decide to not show your image and instead show a gray box that says, we're sorry, this image can't be displayed. And so you can pull the image back in if Notion decides to misbehave. So the same is over here for Angus, and then under spirits and entities, the Banshee. To add a new one, you hit new, for whichever section, and then you're just going to fill out the information, the name of the deity, any tags, and your notes or research go there. The next section is divination. Now my divination section is set up in 2 different ways, and we're going to look at them really quick. I have a lot of resources for myself over here in this section. I've just included 2 links for you. One is an outside source to a tarot spread that I found on Tumblr, and the other one is an article that I wrote for work that is also included in my personal grimoire, and I've included it here for you as well, about the difference between tarot and oracle. Just click that and it's gonna open it up. You just go back. So we'll look at the way that I have the OM section set up first. So this is one way that you can organize your information. So I have what is OM, how it was used, etc., all on the left-hand side here with some sources on the bottom. And then over here on the right, I have information about the different acme of the OM. I've included 3 here for you. Obviously mine is more filled in. These just go to other pages that are relevant to whatever it is that you clicked on. For me, this is Baith, and it is the first letter in the OM alphabet. So that is one way that you can organize your divination information. The second way is the way that I have it listed here for tarot, and that's with a database. I have it set up in 2 ways. Tarot cards, and this is just the name of the card and whether it belongs to the major arcana or one of the suits. The second way is by keyword. So you have the name of the card, its tag, its upright keywords, and its reversed keywords. You can obviously open this, add more information here, images, etc. That is up to you, but this is also an effective way of organizing your information. The next page that we're going to look at is going to be the energy work section. Now in this section, I just have it organized in pages. This right here is my information on creating and maintaining a servitor, and this comes from Ivy's video, how to create and maintain a servitor, because she is who I was learning how to make servitors from. So having them like this in pages for your information is another way to organize your grimoire. Then we're going to look at meditation is also set up in a database. I have just 3 sections here, so you don't even need to add new this way if you don't have any other information to include here. I'm going to delete that. The name of the meditation type, so you will add different tags, and then the source link. So these will all link to the external sources of the meditation directly from the database. You don't have to open anything, you just click and it will open it. So you can add a new page this way or add a new page this way, totally up to you. Then we have plants, same thing. This is a database organized in a list fashion. So you've got the name of the plant and its common correspondences. To add a new one, put the plant name here, do roses, and give it some tags, just like that. And then give it an icon. The last section in the information section, or the last page in the information section, is shadow work, and this is also a database. I have 2 articles in here just to get you started. They both are just blog posts from my website. So you have the title here, the category, article or external source. You can also add like personal notes or whatever else that you want. Then the tags related to whatever it is, and then the source link. Now you won't always have a source link, especially if it's notes that you're taking. So for example, if you were to create notes like this, right? You wouldn't have a source link because there's nothing to link to. You would instead put your notes here, and then you would be able to open it and read what it was that you wrote. And that is the information section. Now, if you want to add a new section, my personal recommendation is duplicating one of these pages already rather than creating a new one on your own, unless you're already familiar with Notion. So I don't have a section on crystals because I don't generally work with crystals very much. So we can go really quick. So I can walk you through doing that real quick. So I'm actually going to duplicate the color magic page. You just hit duplicate, it's going to pop it in right here. So you'll click on it and it will open it up. It's going to be exactly the same, so you will have to make some changes. Give it a new name, crystals. We will delete the entries that are here already. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to adjust our properties. Properties are going to be the things that show up here. So this one here, instead of color, we want it to say crystal. Over here you have correspondences. We can leave that exactly as it is. You may also want to add an image, files and media. You might want to have a picture of what it looks like, right? So let's add clear quartz. We'll do protection, cleansing. Now adding an image here is a little different because you can't pull in an image from Unsplash. You can either upload or embed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to embed a link. I'm just gonna go over to Ecosia, search for clear quartz crystal, copy the image address, and put it right in here. This is just coming from the clear quartz page on Wikipedia, and it's going to pop an image here. Now, organizing crystals, I would do it in two ways. One is just by a table view. The second is a gallery view. And in the gallery view, we can edit it to go layout, gallery. So the card preview, select image, and it's going to pull in the image that you uploaded. And it's going to have the name here of whatever the crystal is. So those are the two ways that I would organize crystals. Now, if you're going to add from the gallery, it's going to open the new page like this. You have to make sure to upload an image or it's going to just show a blank box. So we can do another one real quick. We'll do, no, let's pick a colorful one. Let's do red jasper. Red jasper, oh, what the heck is that? Let's just do passion. I don't even remember if I'm being completely honest. Then I'm gonna go find an image. Again, I'm just pulling images from Wikipedia. Copy the image address, embed the link, and there's your image. So it's gonna show up here when you close the page. And now you have a crystals page. The last section here is a list of spells. Now the cool thing about this section is that this category here, all spells, will determine what shows up in all of these other categories. And let me show you what I mean. So we're going to go to all spells. And again, these are all organized in a database. I've got some random ones here. Some come from my website. Some come from books. I think one of them comes from the Spells 8 forum. But these categories here, love magic, kitchen magic, sabbats, banishing, etc., these determine if those particular spells show up in the correct page. Here, see? So I would only generally worry about adding spells to the all spells database and just giving it the correct category. Let's add a sigil and a healing spell together just so you can see what it looks like. So these are both things that I have personally created. I think they both come from Spells 8, posts that I've made on Spells 8. So the first one that we're going to do is a sigil. Now this sigil is one that I created to banish bad habits. We're going to put it in the sigils category. Going to give it a tag. Let's see. Habits. This can also go under the banishing category because it is both. The spell source, this is where you're going to include wherever the spell came from. So a link, a book name, a person, etc. This came from the Spellsave forum. And then I'm just going to copy all of the information here that I wrote and put it here. And then you have the sigil. Now, when I go out of this page and I go back, if I go to banishing, it's going to be here. I didn't give it an icon, so we'll give it an icon. It's going to be here, and you can click open and it will open on the side. You can also go to sigils, and this one I have it set up in a gallery view, but you can obviously change that and it will be here as well. I want to reposition this so I can see save position. Okay. And it will be there. So we can add one more spell together. Let me open up my other window. We will add a healing spell. This one is called Healing from Within. Now this spell belongs in the healing section, and that's it, just the healing section. This particular spell is actually it's an energy work visualization exercise. So I'm going to, again, copy and paste what I wrote. And, oh, the emoji's pulled in weird. Actually. Paste in what I wrote. Oh, and it pulled in the markdown. Okay, let's just paste it. Cool. Yeah, so sometimes the formatting goes a little weird, but it is what it is. And I'm going to change this to a bulleted list because everything is meant to go in order. And that is that. And there is a link here for my spell source. Healing, I'm going to give this the healing tag. I'm also going to give it the energy work tag because it is an energy spell. Okay, and then this spell will show up in the healing magic section. Healing from within. Let's make this one sparkle. And that's how you do that. Now, you can add new categories. I'm going to show you how to do that really quick, but you definitely want to familiarize yourself with the way databases work, because the last time I tried to edit the categories for myself, changing one filter on them, which is how these are organized, reset all of them, and I had to go through and change them all again. So let's just try. Let's add a new category. Let's add, let's see, have protection, sabbat, sigils, cleansing, baneful, banishing. What category can I add? We could do green. Green magic. Okay, so I have a new category. I am going to create a placeholder spell just for this category really quick so I can make sure that the database works properly when I create a new one. So we've created the new category. We're going to go back to our spells section, and all we're going to do is duplicate one of these. It doesn't matter which one we duplicate because we're going to be changing it anyway. I'm going to duplicate the cleansing one just because I like to keep everything in alphabetical order, and that's going to make it easy. So open the one that you duplicated, change the name. Now, we have to go over here to the filter. This is how all of these databases are organized. Over here it says category. We duplicated the cleansing category, so that is what is currently in our filter. We're going to remove cleansing, and we're going to add green magic. And now our placeholder spell is here. Let me save it for everyone, and then click that so that disappears. And now we have our new category. Anytime you make that change, you have to double check everything else. So, baneful. Yep, okay, everything still looks fine. I'm not gonna go through and check every single one right now because that would be a waste of time, a waste of your time. But that's how you add a new category. You can delete them just the same. So if you delete a category from the database, make sure that you delete the page, otherwise you're just gonna have a duplicate there for no reason. And that is the template. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope if you choose to use this template that it works well for you. If you do use it and you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the description below. If you have any suggestions for other ways that you can use Notion for your practice, please let me know. I know there are so many things that you can do with Notion, and there are so many ways you can organize it and organize your information and do your research and even create like a whole like digital brain for Notion, right? So again, if you want to use this template, you will find the link for it in the description below. It is free. All you have to do is have a Notion account, which is also free, and duplicate it to your own workspace. I do just ask that you keep the information at the bottom of it that says that it was created by me. There is a link down there in the Notion template too if you want to leave me a tip for creating it. That would be great. Again, you're not obligated to, you don't have to, but it would be much appreciated if you did. I do also ask that if you share the template, you share the link to my website where you can get the template so that people know where it came from, and that you don't list it anywhere as your own and you don't turn around and sell it. I've seen that happen and it's very unfortunate when it does. So again, thank you so much for watching this video. I like doing this kind of thing, so if you have more ideas or suggestions or comments or whatever, let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.